Jeez.
Okay, we should be live. So, we are here for our first month of 2022 of
Yay!
the Shelf Indulgence book club, and we are going with The Mistake by L. Kennedy, and I have so many thoughts on this one.
I read that like December. Yeah, no, January. But I was done within like
You were
three
like
days.
yeah, you did it like right at the beginning of the month.
Yeah, so it's been a little while. But don't worry, I remembered a lot.
So, um I have like many screenshots and things that I want to bring up and discuss
Mhm.
because I was like reading this and I was like, oh my god. So can we? What would you? Do you want to start us off with what you rated it?
I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars.
Really?
Yeah.
I definitely was not as generous. Um,
Well, okay, I think I was like a 3.5 or a 3.75, but on Goodreads, I rounded up.
yeah. So for this one, I if you guys don't know, this is the second book. There is going to be spoilers in here, but this is the second book in this off-campus series.
But they're more like companion books,
I
so
think so too.
you can read them all separately. So it's not going to spoil the first. If you have, well, I mean, guy
It's
gets
a
the girl,
romance book.
so but it won't really spoil anything on the first one. So if you haven't read the deal, we will be conscious as to not we'll make references, but we'll be conscious to not spoil the deal.
Yeah. But we will be spoiling this one because we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of things.
Yeah.
And I I'm going to rate this like it rounded up with Goodreads, so it rounded up to a 3.
Oh, you did not like this book.
it There's some issues I have with this book, but just I don't think this was set up for me to like it because it has one of my biggest pet peeves. So, and that is when characters are cocky, arrogant, full of themselves. It is one of my biggest character flaw pet peeves. And this was set up like I think I'm sorry, this is gonna turn into like a rant live show. This is set up for me not to like it because that is what every book of these is about. Is they're all hockey, arrogant, cocky characters,
But they have a
and
lot of arc.
they
They
do, they
they
do.
have
That's
a lot
that's
of
why
character
it
building.
got a 3 stars. That's the resounding quality.
What did you rate the deal? I think I rated it like a 5.
I don't think I rated it that high. I don't remember what I rated the deal.
I
Um,
really liked it. Like it was one of the first few, like it was one of those books that made me cry.
so let me look and see what I rated the deal.
Oh yeah, you did not like this book.
There is just, I mean, it does have some resounding qualities. I rated the deal a 4.
Oh, okay.
So it here's the thing. After reading this one and then reading the little snippet in the back that prompts for the next one, right? This is what they're all the same. They're the exact same story. And I'm like, I feel like I have been hoodwinked out of reading this book because it's the exact same as the first. It's exact same as the last one.
Oh yeah.
That
I
they're the exact same, and you're gonna sit here and read 7 of these books, and they're the exact same book. Like,
so I rated the deal a 5.
yeah. But
But
like I said, like I think it's set up for me not to like it.
I
Like,
like these trashy novels.
I'm fine with them being trashy or smutty or whatever. I don't like the arrogance piece of it, and that's the like. I
See,
don't
I
find that
love.
endearing, so that turned off like a lot of it.
That's fair. No, that's fair. And like, can you hear me? I'm having to talk very softly, but can you hear me?
Yeah, you're a little quiet, but yeah.
Okay. And I know that was one of your uh, problems with Sea Swept because
Yes.
Cam is that
playboy, arrogant, all the women love me, God's greatest gift to women shit. Yeah, it
Yes.
drives me nuts.
Yes. Yes. I find it hilarious because I'm just like, these guys are so stupid. Like, I I like it because I think it's funny because I can like laugh at how dumb they are.
That's fair.
Um, it's not that I like those types of guys. It's just that I find it funny because I'm just like, wow, like they are so full of themselves. And I just think it's so funny, especially when they have like the conversation when they're sitting down and they're like talking about like pleasuring women when they were sitting down. Yeah. And I was just like, "Oh my god, like this conversation is not real. Like these guys, like they need a healthy dose of reality." And that's why I like these books because I find it comical at how dumb the male protagonist is.
So, I will say, like, they do have a character arc, I appreciate all of that, and that's what, like, redeems this, but, like, the trope of this cocky guy who finds this woman who does not desire him, and he's like, "I must have her," and that's in every single one of them, and I'm just like, "Oh my god." Like, that's such it's just a bad trope, and I just am, like, over that of being like, "Oh, I get all of these women, but the one that doesn't want me, that's the one I want," and it's like, God, that is problematic as fuck, like, Jesus. So I just really disliked that aspect of it. Another pet peeve of mine in this book is that the women are not developed. Like the men have great character arc. The women are
Mhm.
flat. And I like the women in this. And
No,
like in this trope, like I like the strong woman who's like, no, I'm not gonna take that bullshit. But the women are not developed whatsoever. Like no backstory, nothing.
no, Grace is super flat. She's
Yeah.
such a boring character. I did not like her. I kept like she's fine. Like
Yeah.
there wasn't anything inherently great about her and but there wasn't anything like inherently like bad. She was just like very blah.
Yeah. And she wasn't developed at all, and I wish that we
Mhm.
had a little bit more of that. I think
Mhm.
it would be a more compelling story.
I felt like Hannah was very developed though. I know we said we weren't going to do spoilers for the deal and we won't.
Yeah.
But I will say the deal is way better than the
I
mistake.
I agree. Yeah, she's a lot more
Um,
fleshed out.
she's a lot more fleshed out. I they become friends first. Um, and I like that. It's not like, oh, like you mentioned, guy sees girl, guy must have girl. I feel like theirs was more friendship
Yeah.
oriented because they did strike a deal and neither of them were looking for anything romantic, if I remember correctly. And then I really liked Hannah's story. I felt like she had a good character arc and development, and she really grew into her own, especially at the very end where she kind of like took over.
Yeah. Like the most development Grace goes through is personality that she shows is that she mumbles a lot, like she stammers and um like she's quirky because she talks about random facts when she's nervous or whatever, and she doesn't like hockey. Like that's her personality.
Yeah,
And it's just like,
yeah. That's why I was like, why is he like? What's this sounds horrible, but I was like, what's so special about her? I'm like, they had 3 dates,
yeah.
if you even count that as dates, and he's like obsessed with her, and I'm just like, she's not even that cool.
Yeah, the whole premise of the whole reason why he is drawn to her is because she doesn't like him.
But she does.
Yeah, but so the whole thing is fake. It's just all of it was not good for me. Um, so
Okay, I don't want to get any hate, but and like
just say
definitely I'm a
it.
feminist. Well, not a feminist. Yeah, I'm a feminist, like pro female. Like
Yeah.
I love a good, strong female character. I don't abide by the typical
Damsel in distress. Yeah.
stereotypical like female roles and stuff. But thought that she was being um totally I thought she was being like overboard with like him. He like he made a mistake, I guess, but she just like I don't know. Like her being
Yes.
like, "Oh, we went on 3 dates. I'm just going to ignore you." And then he kept trying and trying and he apologized and he was like, "I'm so sorry." Like if the roles were reversed and
He
like
would be the asshole.
the
Yeah.
girl had made the mistake and if she didn't forgive him, exactly, he
Yeah.
would be like or if he didn't forgive her, I apologize. If he didn't forgive her, she would be he would be the asshole. We would be like, she apologized. Why is he not accepting it?
Yeah.
It's not like he cheated on her or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she honestly, she should have just stood her ground and been like, I'm not interested. No, thank you. Or just forgave him. But I was just like, girl, you want the attention.
There is some serious lack of maturity in this book, especially coming from Grace in multiple scenarios, which I have like screenshots of.
Okay.
That
Um,
I like want to get into the nitty gritty of being like,
yes.
what the fuck? Okay.
Yes.
So the first one, there is some complaints about him too.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Oh yeah.
so this one, let me double check and see what, because I just took photos of the page.
Okay, but can we agree
Oh,
that this book is
okay.
hilarious though?
Oh,
Hilarious.
in like the worst way. Like it's not. I just okay. So this particular passage, which I think we've already talked about a little bit.
Oh my god, is it the one I sent you where it was like where they're all three of the hockey boys are talking on
Oh
the
no,
couch?
that's great. That's fine. Um, this is one that in this book it says, if I can't make you come in 20 minutes, then I'm definitely doing something wrong. Can we talk about how problematic that whole statement is about being like, that is on so many levels. Why are we putting that in romance books? Like, if even if we are writing for the women gaze in this book, saying like this is a standard that you should look for, like, I'm sorry, what woman is reading that and being like feeling great about her sex life, or just like being like, oh, that's the standard I should look for? Like, that just sends such a horrible message for both sides of it, of being like, if I can't get you to come, there's something wrong, and that either something's wrong with you or something wrong with me. Like if I'm doing something wrong, like the whole thing is so problematic.
I didn't even think about that. Because there's two aspects of that that's really wrong. There's the
Yeah,
time frame, first of all, like there's no
yeah.
time limit. And the second is whether you can or you can't. It's not a
Yeah,
yeah,
everybody, like, yeah, the whole thing, like,
yeah.
everybody is different, and I hate that they, like, pinpointed it to, "We can get this done in this amount of time." Like, there's a checklist of things that I can do to get you here, and it's just like, that is it really grinds my gears that that was, like, thrown in here like this, and I was just like, "God, that is horrible."
Mhm.
Um,
Especially if it's college kids reading or college adults, young adults reading this.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it doesn't send out the best message.
Yeah, and have unrealistic expectations for their life.
Mhm.
Um, Yeah, that just really I just was like, I can't believe that's I mean, this is an older book, but still,
Oh yeah.
why would you want that in your book?
I'm like, is this YA?
No, it's nude. It's in adult.
It's in it. Okay, I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
yeah.
thank God. Jeez, this is some of the scenes. I'm just like, because I remember, yeah.
um, this is another page that was like, are you kidding me? And it says, if this was any other girl, I might suggest a quickie, but some something my Vidar is on the fritz, then Grace is most definitely a virgin. Like you can tell when someone is a virgin. Holy crap. Like he just met her and was like, "Oh no, she's a virgin. I have Vidar to tell when someone's a virgin." And I just like read that was like, "What is happening here?" Like you cannot be serious that this player who has slept with all of these people can just look at a person and know they've never had sex. Like it just was like,
I
what are
didn't
we reading?
I
What are
didn't
we?
even think about I must have read this book really quick because
Yeah.
like I didn't even catch that because like we know the readers.
Yeah.
So I guess it
Yeah,
never
but he
really
doesn't.
yeah.
So yeah, it says unless my Vidar is on the fritz, then Grace is most definitely a virgin. Uh and then I took a picture of the book so it's folded over. But so I can't read what the words are in the corner here, but it says I do not have that kind of time on my hands right now, but I'm also particularly eager to take on the responsibility of her being her first. Like, yeah, I just cannot roll my eyes hard enough. I just can't.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm sorry for like this was a 3 star, guys, but this is 2.5. But like it rounds up to 3. But I'm sorry, I'm just like roasting this book right now. Feel free
Feedlot.
to jump in here, but I still have some more that I want to bring up.
Oh my god, the comments.
What?
The comments.
Stop it. um, let me
I've never heard of a VDAR. I was so confused. I guess I never clicked with what he
how
was.
stupid it was.
I thought it was a typo.
Oh my god, the whole thing. I just was like, okay, this is on page 180,
Oh god.
and it talks about how she's got the spoilers. She's got a new roommate now after all the shit that happened.
I love her new roommate.
Yes, but the casual talking about how she likes things clean and that she has casual OCD. And I was like, yikes. The fact that that's you just don't do that. I get that this is an older book, but like,
Yeah, that is true. Oh yeah, actually that is one thing that like drives me nuts because OCD is actual like it's a true mental disorder
yeah, it's
and
not something that is just like,
it physically affects people's lives. Like this is like people that like have to check the locks like 10
oh yeah,
times or like I think the true I need to check them the new uh
the DA or
DSM. I think it's
yeah,
DSM.
yeah, it's DSM,
The
DSM-5.
Yeah, we're still on 5, right? I don't think it's on 6 yet.
I think it's 5.
So I actually have a my degree is in psychology, and so we learned a lot about like all of these and like the DSM, yeah. And it's been a while since I've like referenced that, but to be truly diagnosed with like OCD and stuff, it has to fully affect your life. It's got to be something that is um you know like affecting your life, like your ability to function,
Yeah.
um because you have to do these ritualistic um compulsions, and like cleaning is not like her definition of like that's not, yes, like we use the term loosely. We've just turned into that society where we use that term loosely, like, oh,
Which is horrible.
my
Yeah.
OCD is, like, oh, I'm a little OCD about that. Like we do use that, but yeah, it's not. We should be better about
Yeah, it
using
shouldn't be a
those terms.
colloquial term. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Just like um I've been watching like a lot of like YouTube with like people with disabilities and like people that are blind, and they were mentioning how like a lot of like um people who say like, oh, the highlighters, like the highlight makeup highlight is like blinding, and they're like, highlight cannot blind you, and it like, can be like offensive, things like that that we like don't think about.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
totally.
but sorry, random tangent.
No, but
Uh,
it's exactly the same thing as,
we
like,
just need to be like more cautious about things like that, because someone with true OCD could be reading this and be offended by it.
yeah, because it says, "I'd already warned her that my OCD might rear its incredibly tidy head every now and then, and so far she hasn't batted an eye at what happens." And then her roommate baits her, saying, "Wait, but you didn't fold my laundry?" She mock asked. "What the hell, Grace? I thought we were friends." "I'm not your maid. Fold your own damn laundry." "So you're telling me you can look at that basket overflowing with fresh from the dryer clothes," she gestures to the basket in question, "and you aren't the teeniest bit tempted to fold them? All those shirts forming wrinkles as we speak, lonely socks, longing for their pairs. Let's fold your laundry," I blurt out. A gale of laughter overtakes her small body. That's what I thought. And
I
I
mean,
just was like, geez, I understand the lightheartedness here,
I
but
think
like,
it's cute banter, but they maybe should have used like a different term.
but like, don't, but I don't like the casual OCD and like the misuse of that whole word, like the whole diagnosis,
Hmm.
and then mocking her for it. Like, imagine if she actually had OCD and someone did that to someone who has OCD to set their triggers off. Like,
Hmm.
the whole thing was just like, yikes. Like, that
That's fair. I
is
didn't catch
very
that.
very bad. Um okay.
I
The
guess I was
next
just
one.
like so into like, oh, that's cute banter between them that I didn't even like
Yeah,
catch on.
I was a little brutal on
Yeah,
this
but
one.
I feel like if you already dislike, well, if you don't, or if you're not particularly enjoying a book, or if something peeves you, you're gonna find more peeves.
Yes, but also these things were already in there whether I like the trope or not.
That's true.
Like,
Fair. Fair.
but yeah, it's easier to overlook some of the issues if you're like, "Oh, this is fun and
Yeah, if you're just
lighthearted."
like scrolling through it.
Yeah.
And not to
Um,
mention, I was like, I basically read it as I was rocking Kira to sleep. So we're talking about like fast reading
totally.
on my phone.
And that all being said, if you love this, good for you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not telling you that you should be ashamed that you like this or that you like,
Yeah. Hannah rated it in the twos. I rated it in the fours.
yeah. And it's like, if you like that stuff, great. But I just have like this was just not for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
um, do we want to get into some of the things that we really liked about it?
Yeah. Are you done with your
My rants.
No, no, no,
Yeah.
you're good. If you have more to talk about.
No, my rants are pretty much done. I touched on the points that I wanted to touch on.
So I have a big rant,
Yeah.
and you told me that you disagree, but
Oh, yes.
I still okay. So one of the biggest reasons why I just didn't like Grace is because to me she was just a big hypocrite. So she okay, so
Oh, that's another one I was going to talk
yeah,
about.
okay. So Logan went out with Grace knowing that he potentially had a crush on somebody else,
Hannah.
Hannah.
Yeah.
And before it went too far, I mean, they did have a few dates, and I mean, I guess what is considered too far, but I guess before, yeah, I guess before it went too far, like for Grace's perspective, like what she counts as too, I don't know. I don't know what, like, you know what I mean. But he stopped it, I guess. He stopped their relationship because he was like, I think I might like somebody else, and obviously it was not at the most opportune moment.
Yes.
Um, but at least he did stop it. And then he
It's better than not stopping it and then telling him after,
Yeah,
like
and then he apologized. He felt obviously he like we know he feels really bad. He spends like the whole summer not interested in anybody else, and he tries to gain her affection back and he woos her, and she's playing games with him, and then she goes on a date with somebody else knowing that she likes Logan. Like she knows full-heartedly. She's like I like him, but I don't want to go out with him, but I like him. So I'm going to try and move on. And I'm going to go on a date with Morris and then proceeds to kiss Logan at a party where Morris catches her. And I was like, I was
not quite, not
fuming.
quite. He doesn't catch her kiss him.
Oh, he got like the back half. Like he
Like
knew.
they like heard him coming up the stairs and they pulled apart and then he was right there.
Okay, I he knew what was going on. He got caught. She got
Yeah.
caught. And like I was just like, are you kidding me? I was so mad at her. And then he cuz like she wasn't exclusive with Morris. So I thought it was actually quite hilarious that he went to Morris's dorm and was like, just FYI, I'm trying to get her back, but if you guys are a thing, I'll back off. And then she gets pissed because she's like, why are you telling him this? And I'm like, girl, do you think he's gonna want to go out with you again? Like, you are making out with another guy. Well, like, I'm not slut shaming her or anything. Like, she can do whatever she wants, but she is like literally doing exactly what she was pissed about him doing. And you said it's because he was using Grace as a distraction. Well, I still stand by she was using Morris as a distraction to try and get over Logan.
So here's the like come back to this is that
I can't. I could not. I was like, you make women look bad. She is the typical girl that it's like, yeah, she's the typical girl who is
fickle.
like, yes. And I'm like, you're the reason why, sometimes like men don't take women seriously because
So here's my comeback to that is we were in both of their heads, so we have more information than obviously they know, like in person. But he actively was like, "Oh yes, I am using her as a distraction," and then continued that path up until they were about to have sex. And then he was feeling guilty. But he was fine with everything else
yeah, that's why I
until that
said
part.
yeah, that's why I said until it like got out of hand because I'm just like, well,
But it's still he had that conscious thought
yeah, because like
that he
even
was using her and he was fine with it
yeah,
until it got to that point.
because to someone kissing could be taking it too far. Like we don't know what someone's threshold is.
Yes, but I mean the things that
So yes,
transpired in between the thought process of him using her and when she was like actually interested, and I fully agree that she was trying to use him to like get past Logan,
hmm,
but I will say she was actually interested in Morris
yeah,
and was like,
but
yes, I still have feelings, but I don't like, I'm trying to move on from those feelings, like I'm
yeah,
trying to leave that in the past, and Logan just was persistent and kept
okay,
coming.
fair. But could you imagine being asked out? I know it wasn't like it depends on what you consider a date, but could you imagine being asked like, "Hey, do you want to go to this party with me?" Like knowing you are on a date with somebody, and then you catch them kissing their ex. I would
Oh no,
be
yeah, I'd be pissed too. Yeah.
like I'm surprised that they stayed friends. And I know it was just like a one-time thing, but if somebody did that to me, I'd be like, "Oh no. Oh no."
I think they stay friends because of Logan. Logan
Oh,
is now the tie to
also
Morris.
he's her
Like
boss. He's
I
her
know,
boss.
but I think
Yeah,
that they stayed friends because of the actions of Logan.
that's possible because he is like, "I'm really pissed at you, but Logan's a cool guy."
Yeah, yeah. So like
I couldn't. I couldn't. I'm just like, I'm not downplaying what he did. What he did is not okay. But I still think that, like, she is just, I don't know.
Like,
Like,
there's definitely lack of maturity in here, especially from Grace. I will fully give you that.
yeah.
And I think this is where we see that. My bigger pet peeve in here that happened that of her maturity levels is at the end of this book, there is a big fight that felt very unnecessary.
Oh, when she's mad at him for like he didn't do any, like, what did he do? I forget what he did.
He was hurt and vulnerable and he lashed out. And I'm not saying that that's an appropriate thing, but also if she is going to school for psychology, like, shouldn't she have recognized some of those signs? Like, I don't know. Are you not paying attention in your class and not recognize some of these behavioral signs? Anyway, clearly he was distressed, going through some things, and he lashed out. And in that, like, she knew that he was hurt, and he said, like, I don't think this is a good idea for you to come over. Like, I'm in a really bad mood. Like, he tried to warn her, and she still persisted to show up, which was fine. I thought that was good. But then he was insecure and lashed out to her. And instead of being understanding and talking him down from that point,
She
she
acted
just
like
lashes back harder and made it his fault. Like, he's already going through enough shit that he
yeah,
was like
she acted
dealing
like the
with.
poor victim.
Yeah, that like she turned it about and made it about her because he said like, "Oh, you're just going to get sick of me because I can't show up to
Like
things."
that
Like,
stupid stereotypical thing that women do, that like, like they make everything about themselves. Like, well, you've read books, like you've heard that stereotype. It's just, she's just that like, she's everything bad. Like, she just has all the stereotypes that like we try to break.
it just I was so irritated by that point because that fight felt so unnecessary because it happened in the last 20 pages
Yeah.
and then the reconciliation happened in the last 20 pages.
Is
Like,
that
all of it was just like,
that's after he cried to her dad, right? And her dad was like, "Hey, you need to go check on him."
yeah.
So obviously she should know something bad happened, something.
And be more sensitive to that. Like, know that he is clearly going through something and like understanding like, okay, he probably didn't mean what he just said, like let's work it through versus like turning and attacking him on top of when he was already down. It just
And
that really bothered me.
all of his fears are like 100% um valid in my opinion. Um cuz he's worried that if he obviously like loves Grace now, and he's worried that um she's going to leave him because he feels like he doesn't have a future, and she's going to want to be with someone that I feel like his fears are valid. um and yeah, and so it's not like he just picked a fight to pick a fight,
Yeah.
like you
Like,
said,
these are legitimate things that he is like
going through.
distressed about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that just kind of also cinched the like low rating for me, that it was just like that was so unnecessary to go through. Like, why did we need that extra little bit of drama in there? I mean, it didn't further the plot line besides the fact that that's where they said I love you, and it's just like,
See, I hate that.
cool.
That is one of my biggest that is a pet peeve I really, really don't like, is like saying I love you out of like
Anger.
anger.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's the first, that's the way you want to say it? Like, okay.
Well, I think the whole thing is like that. The reason why that's a trope is that it's like because you actually mean it, so you just say it without thinking about it and not making it a big deal because that's how you felt. And
That's fair.
the so
That's fair. Yeah, are you going to continue on with the series?
no.
I had the score checked out, but it expired before I started it. But I got like one or two chapters in. Um, Dean's hilarious. Like, if you didn't like Garrett or Logan, you're not gonna like Dean.
And I'm
He,
like, they're all the same
he,
goddamn
he
book. They're all the
he's
same book.
Dean is the worst of them. Like as far as like I am, yeah, like God's gift to women.
I am not about it. I just if you end up
He's
reading
not
it,
humble.
you should let me know if they develop a female in this one because literally at that point, if they don't, it's gonna be a copy and paste of the three books. Copy and
Yeah.
paste.
Yeah, and which is why I'm kind of sad because like I said, I really liked Hannah. I felt like Hannah had a really good like I really liked her development. Like,
She has some personality, but she also did not have a ton
really?
of development.
Oh, I thought I liked
But at
her.
least she had a backstory. She wasn't just like cardboard.
Yeah.
But did
Yeah.
you notice like even the men in this have the same background? A hard, terrible father that they have bad relationships with that they still end up doing things for because it's their father, like familial obligations. It's the same trope too on both of them.
No, oh, yeah, no, you're right. It's pretty much yeah, it's the same book.
Yeah. And I just am like, that's just lazy at that point.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder, like, if I pick because she's got a new contemporary book. Um, I
The B
wonder if that's
is it
gotta
the
be
BU series?
no, it's the Good Girl Complex.
Oh, okay. So
Like
they
it
have
just came out.
so I was confused. So this is a 3 book series or a 4 book series?
No,
Yeah.
there's way more than that.
Well, okay. So the other books are the BU, not the off campus. So the off campus series follows
I
the
wonder if that one
four
follows the same tropes.
interesting. So like the Tucker, Dean, Logan, and Garrett is the off campus series. And then her BU, which is Briar University, I'm assuming follows 4 new characters. But they're
Oh
two
yeah.
separate series. But I'm assuming, but like you said, it's like 8 books of the same thing.
Yeah, so the deal, the mistake, the score, the goal.
Mm-hmm. And then after that, it's the BU.
I think if any of them, I would maybe read the goal if I was going to free like continue and just skip the
Tucker.
score. Yeah, because it's Tucker. And I feel like he's slightly different.
He is actually. I think he's the least like man
Broy.
whore,
Yeah.
broy, yeah, man whore of the group. Um,
Ugh.
but we can agree the deal is way better. I
Oh
just think
yeah.
it's really funny that like this book series came out like a decade ago and I picked it up randomly on a whim like 3 years ago for you. And then all of a sudden it's like all
Blown
over
up.
the
Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, I was like going back and watching like our old book awards like to prep for the book awards that we just did.
Did I have the deal on there?
Well, we were talking about the deal, and then also Nicole was in the chat and she recommended me or the Alien Barbarian one, the Ruby Dixon one that's all over TikTok now, and I was like, wow, she was way ahead of the time. Like several years ahead of time she was like recommended that to me on our live show
I wonder why all of these books are just like popping up. It's very interesting. These
cuz
books are
it's Kindle Unlimited.
oh, I was gonna say because these books are like like you
Yeah.
know more than a decade since they've been written. So it's interesting. Same with
Ice
from
Planet Barbarians, yeah.
uh from Blood and Ash, which is our book for February.
Yeah.
I think that was written a little while ago as well, right? And that's like a huge TikTok book, right?
It was a huge TikTok book. I don't know when that was published. Let me.
I mean, her 4th one just came out.
Yeah, I don't think it's that old. 2020.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, she wrote 4 books in 2 years.
So she is losing her eyesight. She's going blind, so she's trying to write as many books as she can while
Oh
she can
my
still write.
god,
Yeah, so she's like cranking them out um before she
jeez.
loses her eyesight.
Oh my god, that sucks.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I am
Oh.
90% sure.
Kevin finished it. He said it's good.
Yeah?
He wants the second one. He was like apparently the second one all it is smut is what he's like. Apparently
So
he's
it's
like
like ACOTAR.
pretty much. Yeah, yeah. Because Akamath is like all smut.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, "Do you have the second one yet?" And I was like, "No, we haven't. We haven't even finished the first."
That's great. Well, I think that's gonna be everything for the live show. Feel free to
Yeah.
join us for the start. We are doing the whole series of From Blood and Ash. The first one's gonna be on Gabby's channel
Wait,
next month.
are we doing all four?
We're doing 3. I don't think we planned for the 4th one.
Well, should we add it and just like shift everything down?
It'll really mess up the whole lineup.
Will
But
it?
we
Okay.
it may be something that we'll have to work
Okay.
into it somewhere.
Because yeah, the fourth one just came out. So I mean, if we're already 3 books in, we may want to.
Well, I think it doesn't come out yet.
Oh, oh, it's not. Okay.
Oh, you're talking about A Shadow in the Ember, right?
No, A War of Two Queens.
So there's
That's March 15th.
so the that's the
Wait,
3rd one?
where's the Shadow of the Ember?
There's also A Shadow in the Ember.
I think that's
This
a different
Yeah,
series.
that's a Flesh and Fire book. Um,
That just came out as well, but that's a brand new series.
yeah, and the
That's why
Crown
I
of
was so
Gilded.
confused. Oh
Yeah,
my
she's got a few that
gosh.
look like they are all belonging.
Okay. Oh my god, she's cranking out books. Okay. So A
Yeah.
Shadow in the Ember is a different series, and that
Yes.
one just came out.
It came out last year.
Okay.
A War of Two Queens is coming out, um, and that is the 4th book in this
Yes, it's
series.
coming
Yeah.
out in March.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we
All
can see
right.
how it goes if we
Yeah.
want to add it or shift it. Um, because if we're already, 3 books in.
Yeah. But it does. I've already put out the whole list, so it
Oh
wouldn't
yeah.
shift. Yeah.
We could always do it, like just throw it in there somehow. Like
Yeah.
the next one, like take a break from it and just like come back
Yeah.
to
She's
it.
going at it with this speed. There'll be 2 by the time we get to it
Yeah,
next year or
yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's going to be everything for this live show. Please join us for Blood and Ash starting on Gabby's channel for next month, and we will see you then. Thanks for
Yes.
watching, guys.
Bye.
Bye.